Yo, this is Zeladina representing for Kwasi and the whole Lion Voice family. Now listen this is the realest thing. Him closer to me than a brother. Him a me G, me I tell him I'm a lion. Me I go tell you how me feel, me I go keep it real. Me nah go wait till him lay down on the mark. Lion Voice never talk bad about me yet. Him realness me can't forget. Cause when a game time him never bench me, him never rise up against me yet. No, the friendship connect. It's funny how we can talk in front of a million people and never yet drop no catch. So a loyalty till death. Lion Voice, and Zeladina representing. Up, up, up.
All of these deals are great, but the ideal when you're doing business, I tell everyone this is a relationship business. Make sure you have a personal relationship with somebody in these companies. Try to find somebody. If it's a secretary, someone where you can build a rapport so you're dealing with someone in the company that you can call in, you can check in, if you can visit, if they have a physical office and you can go and visit them and make yourself known. People are humans. It's humans that are doing the work ultimately. And so the more that you're on top of mind, the more that your opportunities are likely to flow. So in all of these agreements, and it may not always be possible, but as you grow, as you get bigger, you get more leverage, always seek to, again, establish personal relationships. Always helps. All right, that's it.
Well, Lion Voice, tell them that's the people first choice. Lion Voice, make the lioness them feel nice. Lion Voice, with the lion cubs we sacrifice. Lion Voice, got to show the people them the life. Lion Voice. Well, how good and how pleasant it is for an brethren and sisters to dwell in perfect love and unity. It's like a precious diamond upon I head that one down to I high steps, even to the skirts of your beautiful garments. Look how she dancing in the wild, wild west. I got my eye on her and her long dress. She says she love dress like an African. Says she an African and she love her culture best. She in a room but she couldn't care less. Reggae and dancehall, that's her main interest. Her and the hip hop made her feet them step. When she hear Afrobeats then she dance and sweat. She love that African drum, bassline sweet, then she whine and go down. Well, it no really matter about the place she's from. Coulda UK palace or an African slum, coulda.
Greetings in that divine name of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. Glory and honor in the name of his chosen queen, Empress Waziri Menen. My name is Kwasi Bansu, aka Dejazmatch Kwasi, aka Ras Kwasi, aka the Reading Ras, aka the Pan-African Happy Man. I'm an entertainment attorney, I'm an author, I'm an actionist, I'm an artist, and right now I'm the host of the Lion Voice. Welcome to the Lion Voice Network, and a double welcome to Lion Law, where we talk about entertainment law and we address the creative industry about some of the legal topics that are confronting creatives as they build their creative ecosystems. Today we're going to look at the music and the musical part of the ecosystem. In particular, we're going to look at the money aspect. That means we're going to look at music publishing, which is one of the primary sources of revenue. You don't have to be hot to be making money in music, and the publishing side of the industry is the least sexy side, but it's also the side that can be extremely lucrative if you overstand your intellectual property rights and you go into the industry with the right mindset. So you hear the term music business. Well, this is the business part of the music. It's a special part for I because I started off in the music industry trying to pursue music publishing. I came up as an artist in high school, and went to law school, and in law school learned about intellectual property. And then along with one of my law school colleagues, we launched a publishing company called Mighty Mazizi Music and went into the publishing realm. So publishing, very special. And today we're going to talk about the 6 types of publishing agreements that you should know about. We'll do deeper dives in future videos, but I want these Lion Law videos not to be too long, because I overstand my audience and I overstand too much long talking about legal things is not that exciting. So we give you bite-sized chunks. So today we're going to talk about 6 types of publishing agreements and just touch briefly on what those 6 types of agreements are. Before we do that, let me just give a mighty thanks to the Lion Pride, pushing and keeping us growing on the YouTube platform. This is the 2nd largest search engine on the planet. We are striving to become the #1 Rastafari owned network on the planet as well, and we have just passed 900 subscribers. Give thanks to the Lion Pride, and remember, if you subscribe, you're part of the Lion Pride. And I have to big up the Lion Pride on Patreon. We are now 5 fire angels standing side by side on the battlefield. So the item who have been following the channel know we had 2 people in the Patreon for months upon months. A 3rd person joined. We have 2 more brands that have joined. We also have brought on board sponsorship, a new sponsor, Remia King Designs. You see this tumbler? Again, beautiful. Solid. You can put hot or cold liquid inside here. They have many different designs. His Imperial Majesty design. I had to choose that one. So we're growing, and we're going to be bringing on additional sponsors as we go along, and we're encouraging everyone jump into the Patreon. We're going to be loading up some exclusive content on the Patreon. We have some big announcements to drop. We started the Lion Talk Live series, so we're going to be interviewing people from all over the world now. Lion Talk, I've been focusing on my DMV family here so I can do in-person interviews. Now we launched the Lion Talk Live, which is virtual, so that opens the whole world. So you never know who I'm going to bring. Again, my superpower is the network. So let's go straight into the topic, because again, we want to keep these short, sweet, and spicy. Give thanks to the Lion Pride. So what are the 6 types of publishing agreements? Number 1, let's talk about the individual song agreement. This agreement is very catered to independent artists. This is where you're going to contract one or a few of your songs with a publisher. They'll have exclusive rights to only those songs, and you will split the publishing revenue. And remember that a song, you have 50% writer share, 50% publishing share. So according to ASCAP, BMI, they do 100% writer share, 100% publisher share. But think of it as 100% of the pie. Half goes to the writers of the composition, half goes to the publisher of the composition. In return for the publisher taking half of the song, they are putting your song in and ideally generating revenue. And typically they're giving you an advance. So this is important because you get an advance, and then you typically would get some royalties in association once the advance has been recouped. So again, the individual song, you're dealing with a small part of your catalog, so 1 or 2 songs. That's the individual publishing agreement. Then you have the exclusive songwriters agreement. This usually comes with a steady stream of income. Sometimes you'll have publishers that will contract, so they'll give you, let's say, $1,000 a week that you will have as revenue that is secured against your future revenue from the song. This is important for a lot of songwriters because You don't have upfront capital. It can keep you going, pay your rent, pay your bills while you're waiting, because it takes publishing money doesn't come quick. It's not quick money. It's paid out either quarterly or biannually. It takes time to reach the coffers. So, in return for this advance, in return for exclusive access to your catalog, the publisher is helping you to maintain. Some of these deals can be massive deals where they're giving you a big advance for bigger artists, so that you can just focus on writing and doing what you have to do to deliver the compositions to the publisher. So the exclusive deal, you're looking at exclusive, you could only go to one publisher. The individual song, you might have several different publishers that you're working with that are handling different aspects of your catalog. So those are two. 3 is the co-publishing agreement. Typically, this is when you now advance in the industry, you have a little bit more leverage, and what you're doing is you're negotiating so that you can get some of that publishing revenue. So some of that, you're getting your writer's share, but you also want to get a portion of the publisher's share. So you might split the publisher's share 50-50, where the publisher is still getting a benefit, but you're also getting a benefit, so that some of that publishing money is coming back to your coffers, usually through a wholly owned company. So you would establish your own LLC or whatever entity, and then that publishing company is splitting the publishing revenue with the larger publishing apparatus. So that's the co-publishing deal. Again, usually you'll have a little bit more leverage. Then we have what's called the participation agreement. This is similar to the co-publishing agreement. However, the publisher would typically retain full ownership of the publishing share, but they would give you an economic benefit. So 50% of the revenue or 25% of the revenue or whatever the negotiated percentage of the revenue you would get, although it would be still controlled wholly by the publisher. So it's not splitting like the co-publishing deal. The publisher is retaining, and it can go the other way where you also own, and this would, again, you'd have to have tremendous leverage, where you own the publishing share and you're giving an economic benefit to another publisher that may be doing some of the legwork or the hard work, but they're getting an economic benefit from your catalog. Typically, it's not going to be that way. It's going to be the publisher retaining the ownership, because if they're putting in the groundwork, they're going to want control over the publisher's share. But again, life, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. So that's critical. Then we have my favorite publishing agreement, which is the admin agreement, which is the independent artist retains 100% of the publishing, but you give it to a larger publisher that administrates. Basically, they're doing the back office, they're doing the legwork, they're getting the licensing deals. In return, they're getting up to 10 to 20% of the publishing revenue, and then they're paying you out. So you keep the ownership, but somebody else is doing the legwork for you. Now this agreement, they're not as vested because they don't have ownership of the publisher's share. So and they may have hundreds of these agreements in place. So the question is, how much attention are they really putting into your work? And this is where, let me just go on a tangent. All of these deals are great, but the ideal when you're doing business, I tell everyone, this is a relationship business. Make sure you have a personal relationship with somebody in these companies. Try to find somebody, if it's a secretary, someone where you can build a rapport, so you're dealing with someone in the company that you can call in, you can check in, if you can visit, if they have a physical office, and you can go and visit them and make yourself known. People are humans. It's humans that are doing the work ultimately, and so the more that you're on top of mind, the more that your opportunities are likely to flow. So in all of these agreements, and it may not always be possible, but as you grow, as you get bigger, you get more leverage. Always seek to, again, establish personal relationships. Always helps. All right, that's a tangent. And finally, we have the foreign sub-publishing agreement, which is the publishing company making an agreement with a publisher in a foreign territory. For example, your publisher may do an agreement with a publishing company in the UK to collect publishing royalties in that jurisdiction or other. This is a global market, and sometimes a US publisher doesn't have the apparatus or the infrastructure to collect in these other territories. So what's typically done is that these agreements would be done in these territories to allow for collection. These agreements are usually a term agreement. We're usually looking at, maybe a 3-year term on the agreement, and then they have to be renewed, or usually it'll be 3 years and there'll be some options that can be exercised. And when you say option, it just means that if there's nothing that constitutes a breach or anything egregious, then they have the right to continue with the agreement for another term. So again, these are all just an overview of the types of publishing agreements. You have to learn this part of the business. Publishing is where the long term, because according to US copyright, you keep your copyright for the life of the copyright plus 70 years. So that means that your offspring and their offspring will be able to benefit from your intellectual property if you set up your infrastructure correctly. To deal with publishing with the performance rights organization and to collect that revenue, you have to establish an LLC to be able to sign up as a publisher with these entities to collect the publishing side, which you'll most likely have to do. And remember, this is part of a series in terms of your team. Your publisher is a key part of your team. You may have to be a publisher to begin with, but it's always important to understand what you're doing. And publishing done correctly is really a full-time job. When we started our publishing company, we used to go to New York to the Independent Publishers Association, sit in the room, network. We were the only black people in that room. I think there was one other black sister who was representing her father's catalog, but this was all predominantly European, people of European descent in the room. And again, relationships. So if there's a commercial campaign, they know the films that are coming out. They, a lot of the opportunities in terms of how to utilize catalog are done through relationships. So they're never posted. There are also services you can sign up with as a publisher where you can get leads in terms of sync licensing, projects looking for music. You can also establish relationships with music supervisors who do synchronization licenses. I've said on other videos that my artist side, how I'm going to be crafting my musical journey or my musical journey at this stage of my life, over 40, can't really do road like a young artist could. I'm really setting up my publishing and my infrastructure is going to be set up to attack synchronization licenses initially. I'm licensing the music for music, film, television, commercials, and we'll be sharing that journey here on the Lion Voice Network, what it takes, all of the steps. A lot of that will be on Patreon. So if you're not on the Patreon, you want to follow this journey with us, definitely go check out the Patreon. Again, this was just meant as an overview of music publishing, and music publishing equals ownership, and we stress ownership here. Again, this is a Rastafari owned network on the second largest search engine, so ownership is important because the time has come for the lions to own their own story, and this is the Lion Voice.
Lion Voice. Well, how good and how pleasant it is for I brethren and sisters to dwell in perfect love and unity. Like a precious diamond upon I head that one down to I high steps, even to the skirts of your beautiful garments. Look how she dancing in the wild, wild west. I got my eye on her and her long dress. She says she love just like an African. Says she an African man, she love her culture best. She in a room but she couldn't care less. Reggae and dancehall, that's her main interest. R&B hip-hop made her feet them step. When she hear Afrobeats then she dance and sweat. She love that African drum, bassline sweet, then she whine and go down. But it no really matter about the place she's from. Coulda UK Palace or an African slum, coulda DC or in a Kingston. Her African culture she a bring come. It no really matter from she old or young. From the melody sweet she not got hold her tongue. She be singing and dancing in the wild, wild west. I got my eye on her and her long dress. She says she love dress like an African. Says she an African man, she love her culture best. She in a London, couldn't care less. Reggae and dancehall, that's her main interest. R&B hip-hop made her feet them step. When she hear Afrobeats, then she dance and sweat. We no fear internet. Babylon can defeat Almighty in flesh. Babylon full up with pure intellect. But when we check it out, the whole of them depressed. Practice wickedness, whole of them sleepless. Them no stop pop pills, through a bag them a deck. Robber Babylon mad and them sick and them vex. Babylon love curse, every day them vex. Babylon love slave, your days for paychecks. Study Babylon ways, you just save for debt. That's why Rastafari she requests. That's why she love to come a dance and wear some African dress. That's why when she dance and sweat. She treat it like exercise, keep her thighs in check. She full of African pride, that's the side she rep. She wants the Africans rise, and that's why God bless, that's why